you're new here, my name is Michelle and I am a energy reader, mystic, and seeker. I speak intuitively through the collective consciousness while also having a little bit of foundation in the masculine and feminine of the divine. So today we're just going to be pulling some messages. I really felt called to speak to the collective at this time, so trust that if and when you are finding this, it is appropriate for you. Always and forever, take what resonates and leave what does not. But we're just going to do a little bit of a dive into maybe what the collective needs to hear right now. There's so many things shifting and taking away and bringing nuance into our current experience. So allow the messages to resonate through your heart center, because that is the area of receiving, but also trusting and allowing what is meant for you. So yeah, what does the collective need to hear right now, Spirit? Thank you, Divine. There are messages coming through in the form of deep intuitive insight, things that you've been perplexing on. If you have been feeling a little bit like running on the hamster wheel, or seeming like you're moving so fast but going nowhere, take that as a sign that you are required to pause, reflect, and maybe even do some intuitive deep breathing, focusing in on what truly matters in the moment. Because I see right now that your ambition is like bigger than what you can bite off at this current time. So like the saying, your bite is bigger than your chew, or your eyes make your, what is this saying? Like, you're seeing more than what you can process, or your eyes are making it seem as though you can bite off more than what you can chew. And if that doesn't make sense, I can't find the right words to clarify that, but I feel like you would know what I'm talking about if this is you, regardless, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. But there are so many options coming in right now, and you're leaning into the fact that this is such a unique opportunity. So many things can blossom. Your mind's eye is pointing you in so many different directions and reflections. However, it's worth the while to pause and reflect so that all of your energy can be directed in a way that doesn't exhaust you, because it's seemingly like this hamster wheel, like you'll go, but you seemingly get nowhere because you're biting off more than you can chew. Any other messages, Spirit? I get more clarity. What is moving forward? What is moving forward? How are we moving forward? There we go. Okay. Yeah, looking out onto the horizon. 3 of Wands. Oh gosh. Okay. So I'm seeing instantly right off the bat some borders. There's a few things that are bordered up. I'm just seeing a lot of borders or walls, or maybe like something that's kind of trying to keep you in a square box. Like I'm just seeing like this, like every turn you go, it's like, every turn you go here, you're like, you can't move forward in all these different directions. But it's for a reason, again, referencing back to this almost like charged up energy that wants to be released, that wants to go and do and have all these different experiences, but it's worth the while to sit in that energy before you take a direct action. Even though the momentum is there, it's building, there is a positive meaning in that, all of that too. There is a positive support system through this. So while it seems like sometimes the stagnation might be there, it's technically just a moment in the energy, a moment in time that really just needs a breath. So the reason I say that is because with those 3 of Wands, 8 of Swords, and 4 of Wands, it's this directional frustration that you're putting on yourself, because it's almost as if the universe is trying to send you a message like, hey, it's worthwhile to acknowledge your opportunities in almost a daydreamy type of energy, like imaginative, like tapping back into like this really, yeah, just daydreamy. I'm just seeing like kind of head in the clouds, just breathing through that. And moving forward sometimes isn't necessarily such a grandiose big action. And I think when we do take small steps and we don't see an immediate reflection or immediate response to our mind or to our eyes, our perceivable eyes, that doesn't mean that nothing has moved forward. So really allow yourself to daydream. Really allow yourself the grace of trusting the process, allowing yourself the grace that things are processing through, even though in the physical 3D form sometimes we can't see the immediate result. So it seems as though it's a pattern that has been happening. I think this is for a greater audience. I don't think this is for 1 or 2 people. I think it's an energy collective. It kind of gives me a little bit of Mars vibes. This could also be very much Mars retrograde energy for sure. So the action taker, the willful, here's what we're gonna do, and taking that action. When Mars goes into retrograde, right, we are going to be feeling all of this momentum with no real charge. So almost like sticking something in a dead outlet. It's like you're looking for something to happen, but it's not happening, or whatever. That's kind of a morbid expression. Don't know why that came through, but if you can think about how electric currents are trying to communicate with each other, there needs to be a right alignment, a right flow. Both things need to be plugged in. There needs to be a ground. There needs to have a synonymous relationship between those energies so that things can flow. And what seems to be happening is maybe there's crossed wires, maybe there's just an extra period in time that we need to kind of like look and inspect this thing before we can feel the flow to this energy. And the reason of that being is because there is a pattern that we're breaking. There is a pattern that you're breaking of this cyclical go, stop, and then beating yourself up about it and becoming less harmonious. We are in Libra season right now. There's an energy that is asking us to be a little bit more balanced, a little bit more harmonious. And what's happening is that's the foundation that we're working on right now. However, we have to acknowledge that what happens on the inside shows up on the outside. And if we want things to be harmonious and move forward effortlessly, it's going to take some time to harmonize the inner dialogue, harmonize what's going on within, not beating yourself up and running into this space of, well, I've put all this effort into this thing. I'm here waiting to move forward and nothing seems to be moving forward, so I must be doing something wrong, or something must be, I must not be doing something right. So allow the space and time right now to give you some grace and breathing period, because it seems like even to the journey. Yep. Everything, every part of the experience, of our experience, is part of the journey. So the inner dialogue, what we tell ourselves on the way through, is also very much part of sometimes the grandiose, the bigger things that we can see, the manifested reality that we've created from our inner thoughts and feelings. The journey here speaks to exactly that, where things are not always so physically reflected. Though everything in our experience is a mirror to us, that should be the understanding that things take time. Bahati Life, actually, this week, it's reminding me of what she said, is like, you know, at least I think it was Bahati Life, but Jess from Bahati Life, shout out. She said, like, you know, you don't just see a baby be born and expect it to be a full-grown adult. Like, that's just not the process. What happens is there's a painful growth period coming up through puberty, right? You have to understand that everything has its own space and time. If you're going to be manifesting something into your experience, growing in a new direction, and expanding your awareness in general, your probably intuitive abilities, if hearing messages and following the breeze, the winds of time, the reflections of the universe, the divine, God source, you have to be patient and listen and remove judgment of self. I think that's a huge key player moving forward as well. Yeah, so really great that this came out. My home is my castle. Every time I see anything resonant to the home, that always sends a signal to me that it's talking about this physical vessel, the thing carrying us through this world. At the end of the day, this is your safety. This is the place of sacredness. When you don't have anything else, your home is your body. When you have everything else, your home is your body. What I mean by that is you have to nurture this thing within so that your reality may reflect that to you. And you be open to receive it. Because if we're doing all of this work and we're still sheltered and closed off to the idea that anything is possible, we're not going to be able to see the miracles and magic that we've worked so hard to obtain, to get that thing in the manifest 3D reality. So, taking time to nurture mind, body, and spirit. What does it mean to have self-love? What does it mean to speak abundance on your life and know that you're deserving? These are things that I feel the collective could be pondering while there's a growth opportunity, healing, moving forward, those things all the time. And as I was shuffling, seek the truth. This is just so beautiful because it literally is reflecting that What's the inner dialogue that's happening? What's coming through? What is the information that I'm hoping to receive? And really peering into that energy, really opening the truth box, the awareness, the depth that spirit, divine, your higher self, yourself in this current moment is trying to understand, or is trying to speak with, using your throat chakra. This is a very throat chakra activation type of card. And speaking truth, seeking truth, all aligns with what is being received, how you feel, what you feel is deserving. The third eye is also highlighted with this card. So mind's eye, what messages are coming through? How are you paying attention to the universe? What is the signs and synchronicities around you that help you feel grounded in your truth, for things to be more possible, for things and opportunities to come through? Manifest. That manifest reality, right? So the journey is so appropriate to understanding the truth of these things. Every part of the journey allows you to open into a whole new version of yourself. And giving yourself the time to breathe into each moment through the uncomfortable growth period, through the metamorphosis, you start to break down the reasons why all of these things are happening, so that your greatest strength, ambition, direction can be fully put into the things that you want to see in your reality. Whew. That's deep. That's deep. Spirit, with some confirmation, words of comfort. Words of comfort. Obstacles are detours in the right direction. How appropriate. Love that for you. Love that for us. So essentially, this is something I learned really early on in my journey specifically. I kind of bringing myself into the equation because I'm very much also a part of the collective experience. The innate lesson, learning, drive, and understanding that everything in my experience was pointing me into a closer awareness with my highest and greatest expression. If certain things in my past had not happened, would I be where I am today? And this is something to question and ask yourself. I think a really great journaling prompt specifically could come from that. Just allowing yourself to be in a place of understanding that though these things in the past had happened, doesn't necessarily define you as a person. What it does define is the awareness and closeness that you have, the richness and the flavor of spirit, the spirit body, the mystic and the mystical and magical experience of what every day offers us. And sometimes it just takes that shift in perspective to say, okay, if this fork in the road hadn't happened and I didn't make the left, right, or straight and narrow whatever direction I took, maybe this would not have happened. Maybe this would not have happened. But also, same breath, not focusing or getting caught up on the coulda, shoulda, wouldas. It's, okay, this path was the path that I took. This had to happen for my greatest growth and the strength that I'm feeling right now. Doesn't mean that everything in our past is right and unjust. What it does mean, though, is that I'm that much closer and that much more in an understanding of who I am and who I want to become, because the greatest expression within me has to know certain trials and tribulations, because that is not something you're wanting to bring into your collective lineage moving forward. Let's just say, because most importantly, we've been healing a lot of our past trauma, but not only ours, but our parents and their parents and our great grandparents and their parents and everybody moving backwards along the lines. We've been doing so much healing for all of these things that sometimes we forget that that's why some things in our personal past have happened. We have to transmute and transform these cyclical patterns within ourselves in order to create a more abundant and fruitful future, not only for ourselves, but the generations to come. So I think I'm going to leave that here for now. If any of this resonates, please leave a comment, share, or reach out. I will be available for readings or personal intuitive guidance if you're looking for it. Please reach out. I will have all of my information listed below. That is the only place that you can find me. And until next time, have a happy rest of the Libra season and shifts of what's coming forth for all of us. Yeah, blessings.